With liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we take our seat, let's have an opening prayer by Pastor Bratton from Greater Faith Church here in the city of Rialto. Pastor Bratton, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
All right, good to have you here this evening, Pastor Bratton.
It's great to be here this evening, be able to open your session tonight with a prayer. Are you ready? When you pray?
Yes, we're ready when you are, sir.
Okay, we'll do. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us be so precious in your dear sight. We thank you for your great love for us and the special blessing you've given all of us each day of our lives. Tonight, Holy Father, I come to lift up the West Valley Municipal Water District. Father, put your good hand upon board members. Lead them, Father, and guide them. Give them wisdom and insight how to make tough, critical, and crucial decisions, Father. That is for the betterment of the overall community, not just for individuals. Father, I know sometimes they come across roadblocks and situations that they just don't know what to do, what they proceed, to wait, or to back off. So, Father, I ask you right now to give them that wisdom, that insight, Lord, to know when to go, when to stand still. And I pray, God, that the leaders of this West Valley Municipal Water District would always, Father, have the people's hearts and mindset, looking toward the best for the entire community. Lord, I know that there's tough decisions lie ahead of them, not knowing what the future holds. But Father, you know the future. And I pray, God, you would give them calm assurance that they will walk in the right ways and always have you by their side. So Lord, thank you right now, Father. You'll bless the meeting tonight. Let the hearts and minds be on one accord and one purpose, that is to do the best they can for the cities that they serve. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Yes. With that being said, let's move on to adopt the agenda.
Mr. President, I'll make the motion to adopt the agenda.
All right. Dr. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Seconded by Dr. Taylor. Secretary Ashley, please call for the vote.
Director Dr. Michael Taylor,
Yes.
Director Greg Young,
Yes.
Director Dr. Clifford Young,
Dr. Young, I believe you're on mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vice President Kyle Potter,
Yes.
and President Channing Hawkins.
Yes. All right. Okay, great. Public participation?
Under the State of California Brown Act, the Board of Directors is prohibited from discussing or taking action on any item not listed on the posted agenda. Comments related to public hearings and business matters will be heard during the occurrence of the item. In an effort to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and in accordance with the governor's executive order and the order of the county San Bernardino dated March 17, 2020, there will be no public location for attending this board meeting. Members of the public may listen and provide public comment via telephone by calling the following number and access code 888-475-4499. The access code is 807-977-6383. or you may join the meeting using Zoom. Public comment may also be submitted via email to the Public Affairs Manager, Ms. Jean Ferrucci, at nsarooqi@wvwg.org. The webinar will also be available for public viewing by visiting our website.
Mr. Ferrucci?
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, staff, and public. I'd like to go ahead and open up for public comment. If there is anyone here for public comment on Zoom, please go ahead and unmute yourself or raise your hand virtually.
This is June. May I speak?
Go ahead, Dr. Hayes. Dr. Hayes.
Mr. President, members of the board, June Hayes, San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District. I have a couple announcements. First, I'd like to proudly announce that we had elections of officers. Our new president is now Paul Keelhold from the Yucaipa region. Also, the SAPA organization has just made an offer for a new general manager. His name is Jeff Mosier. And even more importantly, as you're all aware, your former other director that covered a good portion of your agency did not win the election. Instead, we have another Gil Botello, and he's here with us tonight. I'd like to introduce Gil to you and welcome to him to the board. And I know he's going to be very helpful to West Valley in the South End. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Hayes. Congratulations on your re-election and the appointment of new officers at San Bernardino Municipal Water District. Thank you all for your service and commitment and support of West Valley Water District. Hi, Mr. Botello. Nice to see you here. Congratulations on your election. And
thank you, President Hawkins. I appreciate that. And to the rest of the board, thank you.
Welcome. Congratulations. Do we have anyone here else that's here for public comment right now? Please go ahead, unmute yourself, or raise your hand virtually. President Hawkins, I actually do have a public comment myself, just briefly. I did have a younger brother that passed away last month, and I do appreciate the board adjourning in memory of him in December's meeting. It sincerely touched me and my family for having experience from the board and staff and support. But thank you very much. Thank you.
God bless you and keep you and the members of your family. Okay. Well, if there aren't any other public comments before we get into presentations, I just wanted to make a brief statement regarding tonight. First and foremost, thank you all for tuning in. It has been 243 years since our country was founded. Yesterday, we witnessed our country come together in unity. Our democratic process once again prevailed, and we remain a strong nation that is for the people, by the people. I congratulate President Joe Biden and Vice President Harris. We also celebrated the birth of Dr. Martin Luther King this week. I reflect on Dr. King's dream and seeing where we are as a country today. Now is the time for our communities to come together to make our neighborhoods better for our future generation. Turning the page, I would like to share on some significant progress we've made at West Valley Water District. Recently, we've been notified of two significant accomplishments. West Valley Water District, in a comprehensive annual financial report, also known as the COFR, have earned the Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA, Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. To win this award, West Valley Water District, COFR, not only met strict financial disclosure requirements verified by GFOA judges, but presented West Valley Water District's financial information in a way that each of its customers and community members could easily understand. I'd like the members of the finance team to stand up so we can acknowledge you. Thank you very much for your service and your diligence. I know that there have been many trying times over the last year, but this speaks to your level of professionalism and dedication to the organization and the ratepayers we serve. Also tonight, I am proud to announce that our agency was invited by the U.S. EPA to apply for over $24 million of Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act money, otherwise known as WIFIA, loan for the Oliver P. Romer Water Filtration Facility Expansion Project. This endeavor will not only enhance our water infrastructure, it will help and support local jobs in the overall expansion. These two accomplishments demonstrate the work of our board, management, and staff have committed to during 2020 in order to move our district forward. I am proud of our accomplishments, and I look forward to 2021. Thank you, staff, and members of the board. With that being said, let's move on to the first.
I have a comment, topic. Yesterday was not only a great day for all of the things that President Hawkins mentioned, it was also a great day for our president. So it was your birthday, and I want to say happy belated. You're joining the elite club this year. Thank you for the time.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you all very, very, very much. With that being said, we have an update on community outreach of the first presentation.
Yes, hi, hello again. President Hawkins, members of the board, and members of the community. My name is Nassim Faruqi, Public Affairs Manager here at West Valley Water District. We really wanted to go ahead and, at the direction of our acting general manager, to present just a brief overview in terms of our community outreach for the October, November, December, what we did here at the district. Initially, we had a food drive for collection here at the water district for needy families, and we focused in Bloomington. And once we served Bloomington, we ended up sponsoring about 24 families for Thanksgiving meals. We partnered with Olive Branch Counseling Center in Bloomington. They had a few families that weren't able to attend due to COVID reasons, and due to that, we went ahead and partnered with Sunrise Church here in Rialto, providing some additional meals to them and their families. We had a contest supplies and PPE event where we served over 1,200 students with PPE items, including face masks, hand sanitizer, but also items to participate in our annual water conservation calendar event. They also received crayons, paper, different supplies, as well as calculators and other school supplies that they'll be able to utilize during their online remote learning. And then we also had another event to actually collect all the items, collect all of the drawings for the conservation calendar. It was definitely a great time to go ahead and collect them. Staff, and I know the board enjoyed looking at them and voting, as we do every year. And there were 12 winners. Each of them did receive a $50 gift card, as well as the teacher did receive a $50 gift card. During the pandemic, it was definitely difficult in putting all these events together, but our staff came together, all of us at the district and the board, putting together definitely a few events that were helpful to the community, helpful to students, and making sure we continue our community outreach here at West Valley Water District. For the holiday season, every year we have an angel tree that we partner with Rialto School District for different families, different students that are in need and just need anything from shoes to pants to jackets to even blankets. Some of the things that we see that are requested, it really just almost brings you to tears because, for example, I know I sponsored 2 children that just needed pants, and it was specifically for warm pants because of the cold season. So it definitely is impactful on our staff, and we definitely want to continue this annual tradition that we have of partnering with Rialto Unified and making sure students are taken care of. There were just some pictures that when we provided the gifts, you'll see some pictures that when Rialto Unified came by and picked up the gifts. And then our annual toy drive that we partnered with Children's Fund of San Bernardino County. Bloomington, Fontana, and Colton. We make sure that as we partner in this program, that we make sure that these gifts stay here in our local communities that we serve. So that's one of the partnerships that we definitely appreciate and value as we go on every year. With that, that concludes our just a little quarterly update in terms of our outreach that we had here at West Valley Water District. We are right now currently planning the distribution of the calendars. We're a little behind schedule on that just because of COVID reasons, but we're definitely getting there, making sure we distribute all the calendars. But we're looking forward to this year, making sure we have. Also, for the public, we're looking at developing water conservation classes virtually so that they can participate. And we're also looking at various different things that potentially be doing virtual tours for our treatment plants. Thank you very much, members. I look in with any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Stevens. Thank you to your team. Trying to do events in this environment is not an easy task. So, kudos to you and to the rest of the staff that is to help you all execute this. Everyone keeps asking me when the calendar is coming out. So it's coming. But also one thing which I know, and I've mentioned this to you before, I got a lot of kudos from folks in my district in Bloomington about the work with the olive branch, and Angela is someone who's extremely important to our community. We don't have a lot of services in our area, and so I think any opportunity that we can partner with her and her organization touches a lot of people in that part of the district, so I appreciate that. And I get a lot of people commenting about it, so that's always good.
For the record, we do have the calendars ready. It's just not as simple as it has been in past years where we have people usually, our customers come into the customer service center and we just hand them to them. Unfortunately, we are not open for COVID reasons, but we are planning an event to distribute those with safety protocols in place.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, and I just want to echo what Greg said. You know, during this period of COVID, while everyone has been social distancing and shut in their homes, the fact that the staff here were able to overcome that and figure out a way to be responsible with social distancing, but still provide a valuable service to the community. And the volunteer hours that went into this is really, really great. And I just really respect and appreciate you all's dedication and service.
Thank you.
All right, next up, update on Oliver P. Romer Water Filtration Facility expansion.
All right, I will start this off as Linda walks up to the podium. I am going to reiterate what President Hawkins just mentioned about the WIFIA application process. I am extremely excited and thrilled about that announcement. We received the official notification of acceptance from WIFIA of our letter of interest. And now we're in the process. Tomorrow I actually have a meeting with the underwriter to kind of go through the process. So from here on out, we have to officially complete an application, submit about $100,000 or so with the application. That process will take approximately 6 to 8 months for review and underwriting, and then come back to us. But when I spoke to the individual at WIFIA, the money is set aside, the loan is approved. It's like buying a home where they run your credit check and make sure you have the income and all of that good stuff, and then now they're going to do the underwriting. So I want to say congratulations to the entire district and to the board for their leadership and direction with helping us get through this process. It was tedious. We're halfway there, and while we are working on the second portion of the process, we're also starting to work with the state revolving fund to submit our application packages. There are 6 packages that need to be submitted to the state for that, the remainder of the funding. And I feel very confident that we will probably receive positive responses from the state because WIFIA already approved us. So I think we're in a good position. This year has started off really, really well. So congratulations all. Thank you all. And Linda, take it on.
Thank you very much, Ricky. Linda Janeski, Engineering Services Manager for Valley Water District. Thank you, President Hawkins, members of the board. Just quick update.
Linda, I cannot hear you.
Is this better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Just wanted to give you a brief update on the Romer expansion project. As Ricky had mentioned, and President Hawkins as well, West Valley has been invited to apply for a WIFIA loan. That's probably the biggest announcement that we have to date. We're also working on preparing an SRF loan application, which includes several different packages of information. And following that, we will do a project advertisement. And that will be going out to the design build firms to see what sort of interest there is in the industry for the project that we're proposing. And that is to be put out in early February. Followed by that, GHD is preparing a virtual presentation for the DV firm, and we'll follow that up with personalized site visits. Through this whole project, the team has been engaged not only with the team and the consultants, but also with our partners at the Department of Drinking Water. They're informed of the project as we go along, and we have meetings scheduled with them to go over some other items. The consultants and the team is working on 30% design plans, P&IDs, site layouts, electrical drawings, preference of equipment lists, and layouts for offices, labs, data rooms. The team that we have, we meet actually once a week to go over projects and go over items that need to be addressed and amongst the group. We also have another meeting that we have during the week, which is with our AGM and our GM, where we go over other project items, not just the design. We look at the WIFIA and other items that the project involves. So with the design portion, we're looking at a 30-inch effluent pipeline and possible alignment from the treatment plant up to our Zone 5 reservoir site and connections to the site. We're looking at backwash recycling ponds and how to do operational testing that would maximize the capacity of the tank, the ponds that we have there currently. We're looking at data, hardware, and integration into the existing system that we have. Working on a secret documentation for the project and an RFP package for the DV firm. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
No questions? Any questions, Kyle, Mike? Okay, no questions. Thank you, Mr.
No, I'm good. Thank you, Linda.
Yep, and then thank you for the work you and your team are doing. Excellent job. Let's keep the momentum going. Okay, next up is the consent calendar. Do we have a motion?
If no one has anything to pull, I'll make the motion about the consent calendar.
Oh, okay.
I'll second
All
that
right.
motion.
We got a second?
You got a second.
All right, and a second, okay, all right. Secretary Essay, call for the vote.
Director Dr. Michael Taylor,
Yes.
Director Greg Young,
Yes.
Director Dr. Clifford Young,
Yes,
Vice President Kyle Crowder,
Yes.
Yes.
and President Jan Thomas.
Yes. Yes. All right, so, moving on, the next bit of business is business matters, approval of the meters department reporting change on the organizational chart.
Good evening, board, employees, residents. Tonight, I bring forward an organizational recommendation change. I discussed this change with our AGM, Van Ju, with Director of General Services, John Stevenson, Operations Manager, Joanne Chan, Bill Kruger, who is the Chief of Meters. We talked in depth about the strategic change and realignment of the meters department from operations to general services. And in alignment with the reform plan that the board adopted a few months ago, I think the direction that's provided there is to create efficiency, streamlining functions, and aligning functions for planning with future technological advances. With that said, we all felt that realigning the meters department under general services would be an efficient, operational, and forward-thinking transition. I'm seeking direction from the board to approve my recommendation.
Okay, and the change has properly been through committee of jurisdiction, as I understand?
Yes, it has. The only one, and I apologize to directors, to the engineering operations committee for not discussing it with them. My oversight. I totally apologize for that. But we had a conversation yesterday between Director Young, Van Ju, and myself.
Okay, all right, well, and then I think Haiti is okay over there too, everything, all right. All right, then done it, okay, all right. Questions, please, questions.
Yeah, I just had a couple questions, and gentlemen, this is a little bit of a follow-up, but for my colleagues' benefit. And first of all, thank you both of you for making time to talk to me on my lunch break yesterday after I was had some concerns on this item. Is there an urgent need to make this change now versus, say, doing it in the budget cycle?
There isn't an urgent need from a perspective that I explained yesterday. I am more of a proactive versus a reactive person. I like to put things in place before main events, and I think this is the appropriate time. It's not a financial change, it's an operational change, so we can get this out of the way and we can focus on the upcoming year's budget, and this has already have been done and in place.
Okay, thank you, Ricky, I appreciate that. Part of my concerns to the rest of my colleagues on this item is, one, I just personally think that making organizational changes mid-year should be more of have an urgency to it. And to me, I kind of like the ability to discuss it more within the boundaries of a board workshop for the budget, when we have plenty of time to talk to staff and to go over collectively as a board. And again, you apologize for not bringing it to the Engineering, Planning, and Operations Committee, because again, this was kind of an unknown item when I got the board packet. So that's my first concern, but also probably my second, and again, my colleague, may disagree with me, but I mean, we do have a new AGM, and I don't want to speak for him, he can speak for himself, but I know if I was in his shoes, I really wouldn't want to make any changes until I had enough time to really evaluate operations. And I know he's begun the process of doing that, but I mean, I personally would just say, if there isn't an urgent need, there's nothing that's going to be critical, and if it is as cut and dry as y'all think it probably is. I mean, I could see an argument both ways, honestly, but if it is cut and dry, it shouldn't be that quick of a decision once we get to budget time. To me, it's less about the issue and more about the timing of it, I guess. So those were just some of my concerns. I just wanted my colleagues to be aware of that, but y'all can disagree with me if you want, or so on and so forth. But that's just where I'm approaching it from.
Well, I think I do understand your concern. However, from my time and what I understand, because of our meters department has gone away from individual handheld meters, and they have new technologies that allows for them to do the meter reading in the trucks. And there's a substantial need for technological support that is the impetus for the change. While I feel comfortable is because of the General Services Department, their implementation of Title N code. They did that change right at COVID, a new technological system. The meters are going to need a lot of support from our General Services, particularly our Information Technology Department, in order to sustain and maintain that the system. And so if all of the individuals who the acting general manager stated had a role and they had an honest, robust conversation, and staff of this level, all the names that he mentioned, all came to some consensus on it, for me, if there was some overarching financial impact, probably be a little bit different, but in understanding the technology as much as I can, because, you guys know way more than I do, but understanding the technology, understanding the benefit of it falling under that department because of the technological change, and if folks are in agreement and have the experts that we pay are in agreement about it, then I don't want to get in the way of innovation and efficiency, which our staff needs in order to do their job. Now, if staff feels, there's something else that we should be doing, there should be another recommendation, then that's one thing. But, and definitely staff when they've had concerns in the past, they find a way to find my number and find a way to say what they feel. So, so I'm gonna, at this point, I'm gonna trust our staff's judgment. I understand the rationale. It doesn't cost us anything. I know we could wait for the budget. It isn't like an emergency, but at the same time, just like with Tyler Enco, letting these folks do what they do, the way they know how to do it, let's not, I don't want to get in their way to second guess their decision.
And I guess I may add too, I think in the time I've been here, Dr. Young, my remember better than that, I think this is maybe the third or fourth time we've moved meters. Meters have always been kind of this funny thing. It's part operation, part financial, part technical. It's never truly fit perfectly in one place, and I freely admit that. That's why I say it's make an argument, I think, for it being in multiple places. So to me, the issue wasn't so much whether this might not be a good change as much as just the timing. So, okay. But again, if the board is comfortable with it, then that's fine. And again, that was just how I felt about it.
Okay. Mike and Kyle, Dr. Young, do you all have any questions or any comments that you want to make regarding this item?
I do have a question. Ricky, can you enlighten the board on any type of financial impact of this particular move at this time?
There is no financial impact at this time, and this is why I am recommending this change. No financial impact to the district.
Okay. Well,
Wait, Dr. Young, were you saying something?
I was not finished. Why is the urgency to do it at this particular time rather than wait until, say, like the mid-year budget?
Because I'm trying to be proactive and reduce the stress level during the budget time, so we can focus on our financials versus focusing on an organizational chart move. I think at this point, it's a smooth transition. We can get things in place from now well to the rest of the year, and we can prepare. Our technological demands are getting greater, and our physical demands are getting smaller. So, again, in anticipation of efficiency and create a better plan and be proactive and thinking ahead, I think this is the best time for the change. I am not pushing this through by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not that type of a manager. I've had robust discussions with all parties involved, and do apologize for not taking it to the engineering committee. I'm a little green here, so I will not make that mistake again. But honestly, it's a business decision that will make our district a little bit stronger and run a little smoother.
Careful one, Krista. And now 3 of these children, Trevor, Joshua, and Olivia. I don't think we have the words.
Okay, Mike and Cal, do you all have any questions, concerns?
Well, I don't know if I call myself a golfer.
No, I do not have any.
No, Ricky, you brought this to our committee earlier, and you explained the logic behind it. It doesn't cost any money. 2, it's a change. It's going to make us much more efficient, and everybody's bought into it with your team over there. So I don't have a problem letting you go ahead with it.
Okay, all right. Well, with that being said, is there a motion on the floor?
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we go ahead and approve this change in the organizational chart.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, Secretary Andrews, call for the vote.
Director Dr. Michael Taylor,
Yes.
Director Greg Young,
Abstain.
Director Dr. Clifford Young,
Is that me?
Yeah, it's you, Cliff.
yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Vice President Kyle Crowder
Yes.
and President Shannon Hopkins.
Yes. Okay, all right, moving on to item 13. All right,
I'll make the motion that we go ahead and push item 13 through.
Mike, can you hold off on your motion? I have some questions on this item that were left over from a previous discussion.
Okay, go ahead with your questions. I'll defer.
Yeah, one of them, and this is to Ricky, is that you were supposed to identify sources of reimbursement for this particular project. Have we done that?
Yes, I have. I have been speaking to California through staff, and I've also talked to the Alliance Group. They have a branch that assists with the reimbursement, and the possibility of reimbursement seems very, very likely. However, we need board approval and we need a purchase order before we can submit and get final word. So if the board directs me to proceed and approve the item, we can do those 2 things and submit it. However, if we do not receive reimbursement, I will come back to the board and let them know that we're not getting the reimbursement. How would you like me to proceed? We are not making a commitment to purchase. We just need these actions to proceed with the reimbursement request.
Okay,
But when we have to.
Cliff, can I dovetail on your question?
sure.
wait, hold on. Okay, Mike, you go, please.
Ricky, aren't there some other organizations that have purchased similar devices or this device, and they have been reimbursed for this?
That's what I've heard. I've actually tried to reach out to the City of Rialto Deputy General Manager, but I have not been successful. But there are several agencies that yes, did purchase and was successful in reimbursement.
Okay.
Okay, well.
I'm okay with this measure as long as what Ricky is asserting to us will happen.
And what I will do, if you notice, there isn't an agreement attached because I wanted to get the direction. And in that agreement, I will insert the clauses that I just mentioned. So this way, we are, absolutely covered. And if the reimbursement is not there, I will come back to the board and say, hey, guess what? We don't have reimbursement option. What would you like me to do?
So two questions. John, have you talked to the company? Are they willing to have that inserted into the agreement, that kind of a clause?
That's what the company told me, yes.
Okay. And so would we have to sign the agreement in order to get to the PO? Or could we get a PO?
We can get a PO with, again,
And I'm just understanding the process.
yes, we can create the purchase order, but not issue the purchase order.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah, but for purposes of sending it to the state for review.
For review, an issued PO is considered sufficient with the board approval of this action.
Okay. And so, if it comes back that they won't cover it, you won't complete the process, you bring it back.
They'll come back to the board, yes.
Okay. Because, and then I was a little leery when I read the staff report, and really didn't identify any funding.
I put it in there because we want to get started with the process, and if you notice on the recommendation, I didn't say that because up until yesterday, I'm still trying to reach out to the city folks. So,
Mr. President, I so move the project.
Yeah.
Wait, Dr. Young, can you repeat yourself, please?
He made a motion to move it forward.
Wait, I couldn't. Can you repeat the motion or repeat your
I
statement
move the
again?
project.
Okay, is there?
I'll second it.
A second? Okay, great. Is it moved and seconded? Secretary Ashe, call for the vote.
Director Dr. Michael Taylor,
Yes.
Director Greg Young,
Yes.
Director Dr. Clifford Young,
Yes.
Vice President Kyle Pryor,
Yes.
and President Tammy Hawkins.
Yes. Okay, moving on to reports by board members.
I'll just keep it real quick. Just thank you for everyone taking the time for everything you do. Jean and Jill, thank you both for being here. I look forward to continuing to work with you all, and Jill, congratulations again, and look forward to working with you since you represent my area, so look forward to seeing you around. So thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Okay, any other board members have anything they want to say?
No.
Nope, okay. All right, legal counsel, well, no, we usually go, you know what, this should be flipped, because that's usually how we do it.
I would like to add a statement in here. John, can you put that slide up? There we go. I wanted to inform the board and most also say thank you to our maintenance group. Back on New Year's Eve, when we were all at home waiting for the ball to drop and having our champagne in our glasses, our maintenance crew was tending to a main break leak. They were out there for about 14 hours trying to repair this. And I wanted to express my sincere thank you to this team for doing that, and also share with the board the commitment of our employees to go out there on a holiday and spend the time to make sure our ratepayers are protected and our district is flourishing. So kudos to the maintenance crew. I'm not going to say too much, but I just wanted to mention their names. Anthony Osama, lead water systems operator. Ivan Kane, lead water systems operator. Matthew Lewis, water systems operator 2. Alan Hidalgo, water systems operator 1. Luis Gomez, water systems operator assistant. These guys did a phenomenal job, and as you can see, it was a massive leak. They're led by Rudy, and Joanne is their manager. Joanne is also a fantastic leader. So thank you, Joanne, for your leadership, and Rudy, and most importantly, thank you to all the gentlemen that spend their holidays protecting our assets.
Right. And they should have all received a commendation from the board president and vice president.
We're just awaiting one more signature from the vice president, and those accommodations will be going out.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. All right. There's nothing else from the acting.
Can you just ask Vicky a question? It's something which we had done at one time, but I know there's been a lot of changes in personnel. But is there a way we can make sure that board members are alerted when some of these breaks occur in their area in case people contact us? I mean, just near me, but no one contacts me probably because it's the holiday. But sometimes I'll get people asking me, and I'm like, I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
And at one time, we were kind of in the practice of
Particularly if it's in my district.
or tax updates on that.
Okay. I will, I'll make that happen.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you for accommodating us and making sure we get alerted to that kind of activity. With that being said, anything else, Mr. Acting General Manager?
No, thank you. Thank you, board members, for again your continued support, and thanks to staff. We're off to a very good start. Let's continue with the positive momentum and keep our district flourishing.
Okay. All right. Mr. Legal Counsel?
Thank you, Mr. President. The board considered multiple items in closed session. There was no final action taken, and so no reportable action. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. That concludes our meeting this evening. At 7:48 p.m. Oh wow. So have a good night.